Hello, it's Leslie Fightmaster, and welcome to day 74, where we'll do a flow class that leads to a pose called Dvipada Shirsasana. Let's bring our hands together in front of the heart and take a moment to set an intention for our practice. Releasing the hands. I'm going to take 2 blocks, and if you don't have blocks, you can roll up a blanket or a towel and put one right at the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, which is about a quarter of the way down your back, and then the other one goes underneath your head. So you can start with 2 blocks if you have them, or rolling up a blanket or a towel, and it would go right in the same place about the middle of your back, and a quarter of the way down or so. And then you can elevate your head with something, or if you put your head on the floor, you'll just get a bigger opening in the upper back. So decide what feels good today. I'm going to go back to the blocks, and I'm going to put the blocks at the same height, so the one with my head down a little bit lower, I'll feel a little bigger opening in my upper back. And then I lowered the block even a little bit more, so I could get right in there. So as we're here breathing, just allow your body to kind of settle into the blocks or the blanket or the towel, whatever you're using, so that you can start to feel that part of your back open. And that is called the thoracic spine. And the thoracic spine bends the opposite direction a little bit, so we want to sort of flatten it out when we do back bends. So this is one effective way to get into that part of the back, because it's a harder part to open. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead with your palms facing each other, and exhale, cross your forearms and hold your opposite elbows or wrists. If that's too intense, bring your arms back down by your sides. When I have the soles of my feet together, knees apart, you can do that, or you can extend the legs all the way out. If it bothers your low back to extend the legs out, then bend your knees and put the feet on the floor, or you can try soles of feet together, knees apart. And just take a couple more long Ujjayi breaths here. And then extend the arms out again, palms facing each other, and cross the other forearm on top, or grab the other wrist, and or elbow, and then allow your arms to just hang right down. But again, if that feels a little too intense for your shoulders, then bring your arms back down by your sides. And just back to your steady breathing. Release the arms back down by your sides. Bring your knees together, bend your knees, and press yourself up off of your blocks, and then you can just slide your blocks off to one side. And rolling forward, right onto your hands and knees, and then walk your hands forward about a handprint, tuck your toes under, and stretch into down dog, and bend both knees, and start to straighten the right leg, and then the left, and then bicycle your feet. Bending one knee and the other, start to stretch out your hamstring muscles on the backs of your thighs, and then begin to settle into your down dog. Arms are shoulders distance apart, feet are hips width, and just keep stretching back. So stretching your chest toward your thighs, stretching your thighs toward the back of your mat, the inner thighs spin back. Look forward to the hands, either step or hop up. Inhale to lengthen the spine. As you exhale, fold forward. Actually, we're going to pause there a moment and then fold forward. So that lengthening of the spine, you want to feel that right where the block was. Inhale, sweep your arms out, around, and up. And exhale the hands to the heart, to the front of the mat in Samastitihi. Inhaling, circle the arms up. As you exhale, hinge from your hips and fold in. On your inhale, come halfway up and lengthen. As you exhale, step back, one leg, the left leg back, keep the right foot in front. Rise up with the arms, sink forward in a low lunge. Pull the right hip back. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat and step to plank. Take your knees to the floor, shift forward, lower slowly to your belly. Untuck the toes, inhale cobra. Pull your hands toward your feet to bring your chest forward. Exhale, press up to the knees, tuck the toes, and make your way into down dog. Inhale and step your left foot all the way up by the left hand. Take the right knee down. Feel free to pat up the right knee if your knee needs some padding, depending on how hard the floor is where you are. Pull the left hip back, send the right hip forward as you stretch up. Pull the ribs and belly in. Exhale the hands to the mat. Step back to plank. And knees down, lower all the way to the floor again. Inhale again to cobra. Press all your toenails into the floor. Exhale, tuck the toes, make your way back into downward facing dog for just a couple breaths. Look forward, step or hop up. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, fold. Press down, inhale to rise up. Exhale, bring your hands to the heart. Again, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale and fold forward, hinging from your hips. Inhale, come halfway up, bend the knees, plant the palms, step the right foot back and take your right knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up, low lunge, pull the left hip back. Exhale, make a big circle with your arms all the way around. Inhale to stretch up. Exhale, face the palms forward and out as you make your circle. Inhale, palms will face each other. Exhale, palms face forward and out for the circle. Take the hands down, step to plank. And shift forward all the way to the floor, knees up this time if you can. Inhale, maybe a little higher cobra. Press the pubic bone gently down, tailbone toward heels. Exhale to lower, tuck the toes, lift up to plank. Knees can be down for that. Lift your hips, come back into down dog. Inhale and step your left foot all the way up by the left hand. Yep. Take the right knee down. Come on up into your low lunge. Sink the hips forward. Pull the left hip back. Lift your hip points up towards your lower ribs. Exhale, circle the arms around. As you inhale, stretch up. Get some length. As you exhale, it's a little back bend. Try and get it in the upper back where that block or blanket was. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, circle. Bring the hands to the mat. Tuck the back toes. Plank. Chaturanga to the floor slowly. Knees can be down. Inhale, cobra. Low one or a high one. As you exhale, tuck the toes, press up, and lift your hips, downward facing dog. Stretch back, arms and ears in line, breathing here. Looking forward, step or hop the feet. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to fold and crown of the head reaching down. Press down through the feet, rise up, inhaling. And exhale, hands to the heart, Samastitihi. Inhale, bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Reach up, sink the weight back. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, and step your right foot back. Left knee over your ankle, rise up into high lunge this time. Pull the left hip back, send the right hip forward, and then stretch through the back leg. Spin your triceps, your upper arms forward. Exhale, bring your hands down, come to plank. Shift forward, chaturanga, shoulders no lower than elbows, but knees can be down. Inhaling to up dog, thighs and knees off the floor, or stick with cobra. Exhale, back down dog. Step your right foot all the way up by the right hand. Stand the ball of your back foot, crescent pose, high lunge. Lift those frontal hip points up. Pull the right hip back as you stretch through all four sides of your waist. Working the back leg. Exhale, hands back to the mat, come to plank, chaturanga. Inhaling up dog or cobra pose. Exhaling, make your way back into down dog. Stretch back here and breathe. And always feel free to push pause and take your knees down and take a rest. Look to the hands, bend the knees, hips high, step or hop up. Inhale, lengthen, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, Utkatasana, get the weight into the heels, and then come to stand, Samastitihi. Again, bend the knees on your inhale, sit back in your imaginary chair. Exhale and fold forward, hips over the heels. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, step the left foot back, stand the ball of that foot, right knee over the ankle. High lunge, crescent pose, reach up. Exhale, bend your elbows and pull them back and then sweep them down, circle around. Inhale, palms face front, scraping the elbows toward the back wall and then make a circle around. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend the elbows, open the chest. Take your hands to the mat to Chaturanga. Inhale, pressing up, stretch out the whole front of your body. Exhale, back into downward dog. On the inhale, step your left foot all the way up, stand the ball of the back foot, come on up into crescent, pull the left hip back, stretch up nice and tall, keep the front ribs drawing in. Exhale, bend the elbows, open the chest. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, face the palms to the front, bend the elbows, chest opening, little back bend. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, little back bend in the upper back. Keep the low belly pulled in. Hands all the way down into Chaturanga. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, downward dog. Arms and ears are in line here. Keep the low belly drawing in. Pull up on the kneecaps, firm your quadricep muscles. Look forward. Step or hop your feet. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale to fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose, reaching up, weight into the heels. Exhale, come back to Samastitihi. Inhale again, circle up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, keep your spine as long as you can as you fold. Inhale, lengthen up the spine. Exhale, step or float back into Chaturanga. Inhale into up dog or cobra, back to plank pose, lower all the way to the floor. Interlace your fingers and inhale for Shalabhasana. So tailbones reaching to the heels, inner thighs spinning toward the ceiling. Lightly press the pubic bone down. Reach your knuckles toward your heels and allow your collarbones to spread wide open. Release, inhaling cobra or upward dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward dog. Right leg up and step it through, back foot flats, come into warrior two. And make sure your front heel is in line with your back arch. Drop the left arm in reverse, get a side stretch. Keep the knee in line with the second toe, then straighten the front knee, reverse triangle pose. Inhale, come up, lean forward, shifting the hips back. Right hand to the shin or foot, left arm up, and then in line with the ear. Sweep the left arm down, take it behind your back, or reach around to hook it onto your thigh. Roll your left shoulder back, bring your bottom ribs forward, and spin your top ribs back. Press weight into the base of the big toe of your right foot as you extend your spine and breathe. Then bend that knee and take your right hand about 12 inches in front on the pinky toe side of the foot. Float the back leg up for half moon. If you have a block handy, put the block underneath your right hand. That helps. Then you're either going to stay slowly setting yourself back down and then just windmill the arms down through Chaturanga. Inhale, press through your hands and feet. Exhale, back to plank. Chaturanga slowly to the floor. Interlace the fingers, other interlace if you can remember, and lift up into Shalabhasana, locust pose. Keep the back of your neck long. Excuse me, there's a tendency to lift the head so much that the neck gets compressed. So try to avoid that tendency. Release down, hands by the ribs. Come on up to up dog or cobra as you inhale. Tuck your toes and make your way into down dog. Inhale the left leg back and up. Exhale, step it through, back foot flat, coming to warrior two. Heel to arch alignment. Front knee points over the second toes. Gaze over the fingertips. Keep dropping the front hip down and keep lifting the frontal hip points up. And drop your right arm reverse, bend into the left knee, and then straighten the left leg on an inhale. Come on up, set up for triangle. Shift the hips back as you lean forward, left hand to the shin or a block or maybe the floor. Stretch through the right arm up and then in line with your right ear. As you exhale, sweep that right arm down and hook it behind you on the low back or take your left thigh and roll the right shoulder open so your collarbones are starting to spread apart. Continue lengthening and then look forward. Bend your left knee a little, walk your right foot in. When you're steady, lift it up. Left hand about 12 inches in front, pinky toe side of the foot. If it's hard to keep that half wrap, you can always release it. Sometimes it's hard to balance, but if you can keep it, then keep that half wrap and keep rolling the right shoulder back. And breathing here. Slowly set yourself into warrior two. Make sure that into triangle, and then release it right into your vinyasa, or skip the vinyasa and go right to down dog. Plank pose. Exhale, lower to the floor. Reaching back for the pinky toe sides of the feet. Inhale and lift into Dhanurasana. So the feet lift up and press back. Legs about hips width apart. Try to keep them at least hips width, but not wider if you can. Release down. Inhale, press into up dog. Feel that back bend get a little easier. And exhale into down dog. Inhale back into plank pose. Roll to the pinky toe side of the right foot. Left arm up. Side plank. Try to stack your hips on top of each other as well as your feet. And then pick up your left foot, put it on the floor behind you, stretch that left arm overhead for wild thing, reach the tailbone toward the heels. So it's in a back bend, and being careful of your back by lifting your belly. Come back into regular plank, keep the left leg lifted if you like, chaturanga. Inhale, set it down for up dog, and exhale, make your way into down dog. Plank pose on the inhale, feet together, and roll to the left side as you reach up through the right arm. Try and stack the hips on top of each other. Right foot up and take it to the floor as you extend into wild thing, a back bend here. So keep reaching that arm toward the front of the mat and lengthen the front of the body. Make your way back. See if you can keep that right foot off the floor as you come to plank. Chaturanga, shoulders no lower than elbows. Inhale, press into up dog, and exhale, make your way into down dog. Remember, you can always rest at any time. So we're going to come onto the knees. Take your elbows no wider than your shoulders and interlace your fingers for dolphin. So as you're in dolphin, press into the elbows and the forearms, lift the shoulders away from the floor, and try to turn your outer upper arms, triceps, toward the back so they wrap back toward the feet. And then walk the feet back about a foot, dolphin plank. Bring your chest forward so your shoulders and your hips about in the same line. Lift the backs of your knees up and keep the crown of the head reaching forward. Also reach through the heels. Walk your feet in, lift your hips back up, and then take your knees down. Little child's pose, little break. So just make it a comfortable one. Now, stick your thumbs in your ears. I know it sounds weird, but then touch the top of your head with your middle fingers. That's the part of the head I want you to put on the floor right now. So elbows no wider than shoulders, like dolphin, but the head down, and then press onto the forearms and lift your head off the floor and set it back down. Press the forearms, lift your head away, lift the shoulders up toward the waist, and set the crown of the head down. Press down, lift away from the floor, and then set the crown of the head back down. That is how we can practice getting ready for a headstand. Because in your headstand, you only want about 30% of the weight in your head, and the rest is on your arms and your shoulders. Virasana, I have a block between my feet and fingertips behind, and lift yourself up off the block and then set it down. Knees are about the same width of the hips. You can also sit right onto the floor without the block. If you want to go deeper, forearms to the mat, lift up. Keep reaching the tailbone toward the backs of the knees. So you're stretching out the fronts of the legs. And then set yourself down. You can sit up or come to the forearms or perhaps lie all the way back into Supta Virasana. So reach the tailbone toward the backs of your knees. There's a tendency to overarch the low back, so we want to avoid that. Press into the floor to come up, and then find your wall. Find your wall space. So remember, we want the very crown of the head on the floor. So to set up for your headstand, interlace your fingers, take your knuckles all the way up to the wall. Very crown of the head on the floor, back of the head rests in the hands, elbows no wider than your shoulders. And then you'll tuck your toes under, lift your knees up off the floor, walk in as much as you can, lift one leg, and then lift the other leg up. Now we're going to press and try and bring the head off the floor and toward the front of your mat. So pressing away from the wall. So if you bring your head through, you're getting a big shoulder stretch. And then we'll release it back down and come on down into rest. So if that pressing the head up off the floor didn't work for you, don't worry about it. You'll just stay with a regular headstand. And same with this next one. Set up again for headstand. Elbows no wider than shoulders. Step one foot up in the other. Practice taking less weight on your head. This time, get your buns against the wall and press again your chest and your head toward the front of the mat, away from the wall. So you get a big opening in the upper back and in the shoulders. Keep your ribs drawn in a little bit. And then crown of the head back down and make your way back into child's pose. Take a little break. So the next one, we actually measure our distance from the wall. So if I sit up with my back against the wall and I put my feet out, I'll take a block and measure where my feet are. That's where I want to have my hands, right where that block is. And it always seems far away. Now, if you don't practice headstand in the middle of the room, you'll probably want to stay with the headstand against the wall. Otherwise, if you do practice it without the wall, come on up and split your legs. I like to reach the right leg first, find the wall. It's a little scary because you're like, oh, is the wall there? But it is. And then maybe walk your feet down slightly and lift your head off the mat. Bring your chest toward the front of the mat, away from the wall, as well as your head. And this one's sometimes called Hollowback. Although the feet could be down a little bit further toward the floor. But it is progress, not perfection. And then take the head back down. Maybe option to walk the feet to the floor. This is a big back bend, so be careful. We want to still have the elbows in line with the shoulders. Press the chest back, bend the right knee, maybe lift it up toward the ceiling. Keep pressing into the left foot. Set the right foot down, bend the left knee in and extend it up. Press into the right heel. And then find that wall, and you can sweep yourself around, come back into child's pose. Now, if you've never done that before, sometimes it's just fun to watch, and then you can see if you want to attempt it, you can push pause and play around with it, or just hit rewind and do the same thing as many times as you want to. Now from child's pose facing the front, we'll take a down dog and let's release our head and neck. So just lightly nod your head, yes. Inhale, plank, and lower exhale. Inhale to upward dog or cobra. Exhale into down dog. Remember to rest if you want to rest. Look forward, step or hop through, and sit. Bend your right knee in for Janu Sirsasana. If your right knee's up high, put a block under your right thigh. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, turn toward the straight leg. Hinge from the hips to fold. Inhale to get length. Exhale to extend. We want to try to keep length in the spine. So if your upper back is rounding here, back out of your pose a little bit. So you can come from a place of length instead of depth. Never matters how deep you get into a pose anyway, just as long as you feel a stretch. Inhale the head up and exhale to release. Straighten your right leg and bend the left. Arms up on the inhale, turn toward the straight leg, extending forward. Lengthen, inhale, exhale to extend. Steady breathing. Inhale, head up, and exhale to release. Take the legs wide for Upavista Konasana. Bring your right hand in front of the right leg. Inhale the left arm straight up. And you can stay right here, or take your left hand across, finding the right foot, bringing the bottom ribs forward and spinning your top ribs back so you're open on the side of the body. If you're rolling forward, it's better to keep the left arm straight up so you can get that nice side opening. Inhale through center. And then left hand to the inside of the left foot, right arm is up and rolling the chest toward the ceiling. And then taking the right arm across, either to the foot or keep it straight up. So again, try to turn your belly to face the ceiling. It's a little twist here. Keep the feet flexed and the knees and toes pointing to the ceiling. Inhale up. And either sit up nice and tall if that's a good stretch, or exhaling, hinge from your hips and come forward. Keeping the toes and knees pointed up toward the ceiling. Just come down any amount. It doesn't matter how far, just get a stretch. And breathe. Long, smooth breaths. Inhale, walking up. And feet together and roll onto your back. Give your knees a little hug. And then keep the right knee hugging in. Extend the left leg out. And twist. Take your right knee off to the left side and turn and look over your right shoulder. Inhale, back through center. Hug your left knee in and extend the right leg, and then exhale. Take your left knee over toward the right side and twist. And turn to look over the left shoulder as long as it doesn't bother your neck. Come back through center. And we'll make our way into our final resting pose. So whenever I have a blanket available, I love to roll it up and put it under my knees because that feels really comfortable to me. You're welcome to do that if you like to, or put a blanket under your head, whatever feels comfortable to you. And once you get into your comfortable position, just really allow yourself to release everything down into the floor. Let yourself just relax and rest. And as you're here resting a little bit longer, we're moving through the 8 limbs of yoga, and we are on the second limb still, and it's called the niyamas, and there are 5 of them. And these are personal observances or things that we strive for to help us be a little more disciplined And we're on the third one. Third one is called tapas. And tapas is not the kind of tapas that you get at the Spanish restaurants with the little plates, although that is very yummy. This kind of tapas, it means literally, the word means to burn or to purify. So when we practice our asana practice and we get kind of sweaty, that's one way that we can burn out some impurities in the body. We can also develop a fire, a heat inside, and a burning desire to better ourselves. And when we use that kind of heat, we motivate ourselves and we motivate others around us to grow and to become better. So be aware of what gives you that fire and that drive, what causes you to motivate. Tapas. Begin to make movements in your fingers and your toes. And reach your arms overhead for a long stretch. And then bend your knees, roll to your right side. Pause a moment for gratitude for all of our blessings. And then press yourself up to seated. Sitting up tall, we'll bring the hands together in Anjali Mudra, Mudra of Reverence. Bring our hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. And our hands to the heart, to remind us to have clear and loving intentions. And our hands to the mouth, to remind us to have clear and loving communications, sending out this wonderful energy to all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope I get to see you again tomorrow. If you liked our class today, please push the like button and share these classes and tell your friends, and please subscribe and ask your friends to subscribe. If you can afford a donation of any amount to help us continue to make classes available to as many people as we possibly can, there is a link below, and through PayPal. Or you can go to fightmasteryoga.com, and on the home page there's a little Amazon. It says Amazon on the right. If you click on that, you go to Amazon. If you buy anything, it helps us. Bye.